Hello everyone, Bridget back here again with some Depop sales for you for the month of November. As you may know, I resell clothing, home goods, electronics, mostly clothing on a variety of marketplaces, mostly going under the name Chaotic Good or Chaotic Goods. So I want to share with you my Depop sales for the month of November. If you've been watching this channel for a little bit, you may recall that earlier in the year I was sharing some Depop sales. Things kind of slowed down in terms of sales and picked up in terms of life outside of reselling, but I've been getting a lot of questions about what sells on Depop from some reselling friends, so I thought I would share with you what's been leaving my shop. So there were about 15 sales this past month, and no real amazing, stupendous sales, but I think you'll find them interesting, and it's just a good review of how the month went on Depop. So this is November 2022. So first up, on the 7th, I sold a Forever 21 black and white acrylic sweater. Let it go for a real bargain of $13 shipped. So they got free shipping. My take from Depop was $10.99 minus about $5 in shipping. This was something that was from my family's closet, so I was happy to get a little bit of money out of it after we wore it. And then next up was a pair of Bongo lace-up combat boots that I think they are the Tracy style. They are decent, but they're not super nice by any means. And so those went for $30. Shipping was $12. And after fees and all that jazz, I made $24. Those were listed for less than a month in the next item to sell on the 15th, so we're already halfway through the month and only 3 sales, was a vintage modern duck pin that was carved from wood, and it also had a flaw. The wing had broken off and had been reattached. So that sold for $15 plus shipping. I made $12 on that. Next up, this thing was a fast sale. I'm talking like within 24 hours. A black belt with a brass buckle and holes kind of throughout the length of the belt. It was kind of, I called it grunge mall goth biker chunky belt industrial steampunk. So I don't know which genre or core appealed to the person who bought this. It was a kind of vinyl, it was that real leather. So I priced it at $15 plus shipping, and I made $12 on that one. Picked it up from the bins, so that was a great score. And I would say my cost of goods throughout this month is pretty much $1 or $2 per item. I do most of my shopping at the bins, and the jewelry I tend to get in jewelry grab bags, and so cost of goods stays pretty low that way. Okay, so on the 16th, next up we had a mini dress, or excuse me, a midi dress with a cutouts and ties in the back, very summery, so not really with the season, but it was cute. I had it in my inventory or in my death pile for a long time waiting to be listed, because it's just a very difficult item to photograph. So it was black and it had cutouts, and my mannequin or half mannequin that I use is also black. So I went ahead and gave it a try and was able to photograph it. It sold as well within a couple weeks for $20 plus shipping, and so I made just over $16 on that one. I think this was something that we picked up for my daughter, and she decided it didn't work for her, so I was happy to move it along to another person to wear it. And then this was a really fun and quick little sale. I knew it was going to sell. It was a botanical mushroom tapestry with sun and moon, so it kind of had witchy goblin core vibes to it. It I have to admit, it did not sell for all that much new. So I found it on Amazon. It sold for about $10 new. I listed it for $10 and was able to get that with $4 shipping. So it was very nice and light, easy to ship. So all in, I made about $8 on that one. And this one is a sad story. On the 19th, I sold this black corset with lace-up straps, or lace-up in the front, and it zipped up the back. I believe it was part of a costume. It was not a quality corset by any means. And I first had sent it and sold it on Mercari, but the address was no good, so it came back to me. And then I sold it on Depop for $12.50. So then I sold a 1989 linen tea towel that you can decorate your kitchen or any other room really with. It had a barn and some cows, and very cutesy, and that sold for $14, free shipping. So I made about $7 on that one after paying for shipping and all that, but that's a great item because it was, I picked up several of them at the bins, very easy to photograph, made the descriptions all similar, so I kind of was able to process them as a batch. And I've sold a couple of them, still have a few left in my inventory. Then starting, I think the 21st, Depop started a Cyber Week promotion where on certain days, if sellers discounted their items by 30% or more, they would not pay Depop fees. You still pay the payment fee, but no Depop fee, which is in the 10 to 15% now. I forget exactly. And then later in the week, so I think it was maybe the Sunday and Monday after Thanksgiving, if you discounted items 50%, you got no fees. So it's a pretty steep discount, but for those items that you really want to move, it might make sense. So both of those days I participated. First part with a 30% discount, I did discount everything because it's not unusual for me to put my store on 20% off. So taking it down to 30 just kind of evens it out. And then I probably put about a third of my items on 50% off. So let's see how those sales went. So on the 21st, I sold this cute little pair of kids, baby really, Harley Davidson denim overalls. Picked them up at the bins. I want to say these were maybe from the 90s. I think they were a little bit vintage, and they sold for $13.28, and buyer paid shipping on those. Then I sold this J. Crew, it's called a tissue turtleneck. It's very thin, and it was in this navy and orange poppy pattern. It sold for $12, and I made $11 with that. Oh, and this one was super cute, a teddy bear Christmas sweatshirt, so I'm very happy this sold before Christmas. It had a sweater panel in the middle, a knit panel in the middle, and otherwise was a regular old sweatshirt, and it sold for just over $20, leaving me with $19, and the buyer paid shipping. Next up was this Eddie Bauer vest that had a Fair Isle style. I believe it was from the 90s based on the tag. Very cute and nice neutral palette. I used keywords like goblin core and preppy and layering. So this sold, they offered me, I think I had it listed maybe around 29 or 25 and offered the discount, and then they went on and offered $15, and I said, yes, let's just move it. So they got a good deal, I got a good sale, I made about $14 on that. Then was this cool painted pony tapestry jacket with a fringed collar and these real cool big buttons. I had a hard time finding clothes comps to this. I didn't find a lot of painted pony tapestry jackets with this type of collar. Some of them have really cool horse or cat or other animal type prints. Some of them are floral, some are geometric. I priced this at $80. Some of them go that high or higher, hoping for offers. And so I went ahead and included this in my 50% discount sale on the 28th. And it got an offer of $32, down from the $40 I had discounted it to. And I said, sure, why not? Because some of these comps I found on eBay at least were going for in that $25 to $30 range. So again, I'm happy with it. It was, got to move it relatively quickly. It had been listed, I think, for about a week. So also on the 28th, I sold this vintage red print button down with dots and butterflies. It kind of gave me clown vibes. So I think I put that in the listing. Also used Kidcore vintage 1970 as keywords as well. It sold for $16, giving me about $15 in profit. And this vest was also sold on the 28th, and I believe it was sold on an offer on top of the 50% discount, but I've had it for a while. I put off listing it because there was a stain on the back that I could not get out, but it's still a pretty cool piece, especially if you're gonna layer it. Nobody's gonna notice the stain on the back if you have something over it. So I had it listed, I think, at $30. So the 50% off took it down to $15, and then from there, the person offered $12.50 and they would pay for shipping. So they got this 1990s vintage vest from, I believe it's the Guetta Brothers, Guetta. It was made in the US. It was a licensed Disney product. So hope they enjoy it, and maybe they're better at stain treating than I am. And so that was the sum of all the sales I made in November. If you're a Depop seller and you've been doing that for a while, maybe you've gotten the notices where you are told if you're in the top 10,000 sellers for the week. I think there was really only 1 week where I got that notice. So that kind of gave me a gauge of how I was doing in the big wide world of Depop. As many of us know, sales can be kind of cyclical depending on what you tend to sell. You might have higher sales in November, higher sales in August for back to school, whatever it is. So that ranking, although it feeds my competitive spirit, which is bad, it also lets me know kind of how Depop's going. Maybe I thought I had a really great week and I didn't even rank. Well, that tells me a lot of people are selling even more stuff on Depop. It was an okay month for me, pretty good month. I'm happy with the items that sold and being able to move some of my bigger and older items along. So let me know if you have any questions about Depop. We'll try to do this again for December. So that is all I have for you. About $226 in sales minus cost of goods, which in this case is probably under $20. $200 for 15 sales on Depop. It's not amazing, but not too bad, given that some of the items were smaller or damaged or things that I'd had for a while or pulled from my own closet. So hope you are selling lots of stuff and finding lots of bargains. So thank you for joining me. We will have to catch up next month with December sales. Hope we have some exciting things to share. Talk to you later.